Have you ever wondered why incredibly smart people frequently fall for arguments that sound perfectly reasonable but contain fatal, invisible flaws? The answer usually hides in the structure of the argument itself. Look at this conditional statement. If A happens, B follows. The cause is the antecedent, the result is the consequent. A trap occurs when someone confirms result B and works backward to claim A was the trigger. This is affirming the consequent. This tricks our brains because we naturally confuse a possible cause with the only possible cause. Let's apply this to a high-stakes scenario. Imagine a criminal courtroom where a prosecutor is trying to convince a jury that a husband planned to murder his wife. This diagram shows the prosecutor's core premise. If the husband is planning murder, that's A, then he will buy a large life insurance policy on her, that's B. Next, the prosecutor presents his proof. The husband did in fact buy the policy. Therefore, he concludes the husband must have planned the murder. But look closely at the result block. The prosecutor is ignoring all the other perfectly legal reasons someone buys life insurance. Financial planning, having children, or even a basic workplace benefit can all lead to this exact same result. Because multiple independent factors can lead to the exact same effect, proving the effect exists does absolutely nothing to prove one specific cause. Let's test missions. Look at this structure. Here are the premises. If you do very well on the SAT, you will probably get into a good college. Now, imagine a friend tells you they got into a highly ranked school. Pause the video here. Based on what we've covered, what fallacious conclusion is your friend likely to draw about your SAT score? And what are two alternative factors that prove their logic wrong? Ready? The flawed conclusion is, because you got into a good college, you must have scored highly on the SAT. If you identified other reasons for getting accepted, like a high GPA, athletic recruitment, or theatrical talent, you successfully spotted the missing variables. Everyday arguments rely on hiding these alternative causes to force false assumptions. You can protect yourself simply by asking, what else could cause this? Spotting the fallacy is one thing. Dismantling it in a live debate is another. The most effective defensive tactic is called the absurd counterexample method. Look at the abstract formula on the left. This technique works by mirroring your opponent's exact logical structure on the right, but plugging in undeniably true premises that lead to a hilariously false conclusion. The textbook gives us a classic example. First, we state our rule. If Newt is a dog, then Newt is an animal. Next, we confirm the result. Newt is, in fact, an animal. Following the flawed logic, we conclude, therefore, Newt must be a dog. There's just one problem. Newt is a cat. The starting premises were completely true, but the structural flaw guaranteed a false conclusion. By showing how their exact pattern of reasoning leads to an absurdity, you corner your opponent. They have to logically acknowledge that their own argument is structurally broken. To handle this logical error in the wild, review this 3-step cheat sheet. Step 1, spot the backward logic. Step 2, break it by brainstorming alternative causes. And Step 3, beat it by deploying an absurd counterexample. Mastering logic requires checking your blind spots. It asks you to look past the most obvious cause for an outcome and systematically recognize everything else that could have triggered it.